Okay, so Crabtana has just gotten a brand new ability. It used to have Expertise, but now it has been replaced with Power Claw. And yeah, this buff makes Crabtana pretty dangerous now. Okay then, jumping into the first set, let's start with the Drudge Crabtana. We're running 200 speed TPs with a nimble personality to let us be as fast as possible, while the 200 melee attack TPs with a brawny personality will let us hit as hard as possible. The 60 energy TPs at level 50 will let us reach a total of 260 energy, which will let us use 1 Drudge, 3 Razor Slashes, 1 Rogue Assault, and then 1 Hydro Slash. And then the 40 health TPs are gonna be leftovers. For the held item, we're going to want something offensive like an Essence, Shell, or even Power Cuss, which personally I'm going to go with the Metal Essence. But if you wanted to, you could also run something like a Clutch Plushie to at least get 1 Drudge off guaranteed without too much risk. Then for the ability, we're running Power Claw, which will increase the damage of our slashing moves by 50%, although they are now going to cost 10% more energy. And finally, for the moves, we're running Drudge to set up to let us be faster and to hit harder. Razor Slash is going to be our strongest metal option, which is also boosted by our ability. Rogue Assault is going to be our strongest brawler option, because we don't have any brawler moves that get boosted by our ability. And the last move I have is going to be Hydro Slash, which is going to be our water coverage option that is also boosted by our ability. Okay then, hopping into the first battle, and I can't lie, if Crabtana can go for a Drudge, it looks really good here. The only problematic Loomian might be Nevermare, it might live, that's kind of about it. Either way, let's go for the Ragoon lead. I'm gonna try and get some entry heads down. That Garagolem could be somewhat problematic, especially if it has a Clutch Plushie. That is the Nikazune low. I don't really want to give the Nevermare a free switch, so clicking Preemptive Strike might be a bad idea, but I think I'm gonna click it anyway. And hey, it was actually the right thing to do. They give me Raging Fire. Okay, I will gladly take that. Now let's go for Ice Cold Traps. Ice Cold Traps will hit the Garagolem for quad effective and the Nevermare for super effective as well. And I think their only fire type was Ikazune, I want to say? I might be wrong about that though. But hey, there's Ice Cold Trap set up. Now we can probably just save the Ragoon. Oh, Ikazune is rocking Health Amulet. Okay, that is fine. I didn't bring my Meditoad. I don't really have a switch into Ikazune, so never mind. Ragoon, you might just have to stay in and go down. Yeah, I didn't bring my Meditoad because I think it's only good against our Ikazune, and that's about it. So, oops. Anyway, here, I guess we could probably go into Venusaur. Actually, no, we could go Crabtana, because we know this Ikazune isn't running boot, so I will always outspeed it. Okay then, and there is the Ikazune dead. There's no way that thing is living, it's quad weak to it. So now that their only fire type is gone, Crabtana looks pretty good. Ice Cold Traps can get removed. Like our Golem's gonna switch in, it's gonna lose half of its health immediately, which is great. I'm not really concerned about trying to outspeed the Garagolem. Most Garagolems are running nimble, there's no way I'm going to outspeed it unless I go for a Drudge, so let's just switch out immediately. I think Ear Snack might be better here. The idea is, if I can baffle on the Garagolem, I might weaken it to the point where I might be able to go for a Drudge against it, but we'll see. There's Earthquake, that's completely fine. And then now I'll go for Baffle. There's Airblade, okay, not Jetstream. I'm not gonna complain. Okay, now I think it should be weak enough so I can actually go for Drudge. And because they switched moves, that means we know they aren't specialty boots at the very least, which is actually great. Because if it was specialty boots, it would still outspeed me even after a Drudge. But there's Earthquake, I should live that. Crabtana has got pretty good melee defense, even though I'm not really investing into it, so I can take a super effective hit from Garagolem. And now with that done, let's start just taking things down. We've already took down the Ikazune, the Garagolem is down now. It's mostly just like Nevermare, but because I'm hitting it with my Ice Cold Traps, I think we'll be fine. She enters switching in. If this is Clutch Plushie, that's gonna suck. I'm just gonna click Razor Slash. Okay, we outspeed it obviously, and critical hit. I don't think the critical hit mattered, but I'll take it. Also, it wasn't clutch plushy, so great. So yeah, maybe it was actually worth bringing Meditoad just so I could try and get more Babs down, but I don't think it really matters. There's Metronet. We're just gonna click Razor Slash here. I mean, Crabtana's already gotten 3 KOs. I don't think we're gonna one-shot the Metronet, but just doing good damage to it so my Venusaur can just clutch up the battle, that's all I need. Like, it is putting in work. Okay then, there is the Soul Burst Metronet, which, okay, that's completely fine. Although I'm still gonna outspeed it. And another critical hit! Okay, Crabtana is cheating. Not actually sure if I would have one-shotted that without the critical hit. That might have been necessary. And there's Oxydrake, which originally I thought would actually be pretty good into Crabtana, but I forgot I speak to Brawler, so hey. This might knock it out? I think it did. Okay, yeah. Crabtana's new ability, Power Claw, is pretty good on it, I guess. And now, let's go over the Revenge Killer Crabtana. We're running 200 speed TPs with a nimble personality to let us be as fast as possible, while the 200 melee attack TPs with a brawny personality will then let us hit as hard as possible. We don't really need any energy investment, so 4 TPs will do here, and then the 96 health TPs are gonna be leftovers. For the held item, we're going to be running specialty boots to increase our speed as much as possible. Also yeah, we're pairing this up with Nimble to try and outspeed all our potential boot users. Which also pairs nicely with our ability, Vengeance. This ability will let us deal double damage with any of our moves if any of our allies fainted during the last turn. And then finally for the moves, we're running Rogue Assault and Razor Slash as our strongest stab options, Wave Wrecker is going to be our strongest coverage option, and then we don't really have any other offensive move options, so we can run Babs as our last move to be an offensive entry hazard setter. Okay then, next up, let's check out the Revenge Killing Crabtana, which I will say, there's a couple of bulky Loomians on this team. The biggest downside is, I can't go Unga Bunga Rogue Assault because they have got Moraith, but if they didn't, I mean, hey, Valkyrie, Plasmoth, and even Florence, I would be nuking. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not, but I'm gonna lead off with my Venusaur, anticipating the Moraith, and I was just basically gonna hope that it didn't have Impersonate, but that is a Valkyrie. Yeah, I mean, I could outspeed a Valkyrie, but I don't know if I'm gonna one-shot it with Mega Punch, because it's not ability boosted. So I might actually be better in trying to save it. Also, I didn't bring Meditoad. Oh no, what do I use to switch into Valkyrie? Yeah, I don't really have anything, so I guess we're clicking Mega Punch. Let's switch out. This is Moraith, I would assume. Oh, Barrock. It does get the boost increase, that's because it's running very brawny. Venusaur has got a higher base melee attack stat, but we're running Nimble on this one. Because we see Balrog, we're just going to go your snack. Having 2 melee tanks is kind of nice, especially when the opponent has a Balrog, which kind of deletes all of my team, to be honest. So here we are, Mega Chomp, gonna do next to nothing, love to see it. And then here we just battle. Don't really have to think about anything. If they stay in for whatever reason, I guess we could actually go Ragoon, steal its boost ability, so it's less threatening, so that means your snack can just completely indefinitely wall it. But they do go for the withdrawal, which is also fine. Into Luminame, we're just gonna go Venusaur again here then, and we're going to click Venom Slash. I could also go for Poison Barbs, or actually Ragoon I think is better here. If Luminame stays in, I will for sure steal that Power Napper ability. And, because they're most likely having to switch out and have to switch out, I am just going to steal probably a pretty good ability. Surprisingly, they leave Luminami in. That did no damage. That is definitely like heavy armor or restrictive armor. That took that way too well. But hey, now it can't get any passive healing. We're looking good. And now I could actually be really annoying. I could use my Ragoon as like a pseudo tank by switching it in and out constantly whenever I can, just to get all of my health back. There's Florence. That's also pretty annoying. I have got Sukame, but I think your snack is actually better into Florence, so let's change what Loomian I use for what. Let's use Yursnak to tank against the Florence and Tsukame to tank against the Borok, I think is the better plan now. But yeah, looking at their team, we haven't seen Maraith yet. We've seen Valkyrie, Florence, Borok, and Luminame. Rogue Assault is looking really good. We still need to know what their last Loomian is, because if it is Maraith, I'm just going to be wasting one turn of my Vengeance, so I want to do a little bit more scouting first, but so far, Rogue Assault looks free. Okay, they do go for the Soul Burst and the Florent, and they just click Bulk Up. That is very, very, very scary. I am not a fan about that at all. We probably just want to baffle into Venusaur just for damage, right? That's probably the best idea I could do right now. Vice Jaws is fine, it's going to do next to no damage because I have my tank active still. So yeah, let's just get the heck out of here into Venusaur. They're most likely running Bulk Up, Vice Jaws, Parasitize, and then the last move is maybe Mega Chomp or Photosynthesis. We're just clicking Venom Slash, not thinking about anything here. I don't think we're going to one-shot Flora, but we will do a lot of damage, so I'll take that. Yep, that is really, really, really good damage. And Venusaur actually lives! Okay, let's do that again then. Florent has no chance of outspeeding us, so we're just guaranteed to get damage on something at the very least. And they switch into Borok. Honestly, a poison here would be huge. Maybe? Come on? I mean, hey, even a resist, that's still pretty good damage. Here then, let's go Tsukame. Like I was saying, we're going to save the Yursnak for the Florent switch-in, and we'll use Tsukame for our Borok switch-in. And now I get to go for Seasong for free, and they go Luminame. We could actually go into Ragoon here and get Icicle Traps down. That will actually just immediately KO the Florent and the Borok now. They have got Valkyrie, which could get rid of them potentially, but I think it might be worth it. There's Icicle Traps. That Luminami I think is clicking Flash and Flee. Yeah, okay. And because my Ragoon is a Dark type, we are kind of like scaring the Valkyrie to not switch in, because it's weak to Dark obviously. So is it worth going Valkyrie and clicking Gust to get rid of the Icicle Traps? I don't know. I don't think Borok was the switch there, not gonna lie. It just kinda died. Okay. Next up is Luminami again. I mean, okay. I'm most likely gonna lose Ragoon, but I am honestly completely fine with that. So let's do a little bit more damage to the Luminami, just to make sure it's in range of my Vengeance. Okay, that was a little bit too much, but it's fine. Flash and Flee again, that's fine. Because Lay pivoted, do Lay switch out first? Lay do. So we get to see what Lay want to go into, and then I can go into my Crabtana, Florence. We still haven't seen... Oh, it just dies. Oh, never mind. Oh, actually, now I have to switch into Crabtana. Fine. I guess technically that was actually smart of them to do. They go Luminame. That is so weak, I'm just going to be wasting my Vengeance. It might just be worth going for Razor Slash. It should be enough to KO the Luminame. It will do a chunk of damage to Valkyrie. And if it's Maraith, I'll at the very least, hit it. Right? I think that's probably the smartest thing I can do. Because we should take out Luminami either way. So yeah. First Vengeance, a little bit wasted, but that's completely fine. There's Valkyrie. We don't have Meditoad, but hey, if we really wanted to, we could just sacrifice Venusaur and go from there. Is this a smart decision? Definitely not, but who's gonna stop me? This is not a good idea, by the way. Venusaur is still really, really scary. Hasten! Okay. That's still fine. We're just gonna click Mega Punch. Obviously they're gonna outspeed my Venusaur. But my Crabtana is Boots Nimble. So the only way Valkyrie is gonna outspeed us is if it's running very nimble, and even then I don't think it will outspeed us. So I think it needs to use Lightspeed Ray. Just gonna click Rogue Assault. Not gonna think about it too much. If they do have Maraith and they switch into it now, honestly, really good play. I'm playing like they don't have Maraith, but I'm really wary of it still. Okay, they actually just stay in and go for Lightspeed Ray. That shouldn't do enough to knock me out. It does still do a lot of damage, but hey, that's completely fine. I'll trade half of my health to knock out the Valkyrie. So hey, looking pretty good. Now, what is your last Loomian? And it's Plasmoth. Okay. I don't think we need the Vengeance, but we could. I don't think Plasmoth has a way to increase its speed, right? So let's go Sukame, sacrifice it to like a Thunder Strike or a Thunder Blast, potentially. And then we'll go back into Crabtana. There's Sukame, there's Power Surge, that's completely fine. Oh, I actually got Paralyzed as well. Okay, dang. We're just gonna go for Seasong. I actually don't know what held item this Plasmoth is running because it doesn't say 8 turns. I think it's bugged right now. I think the battle tracker like tells you and just like leaks your held item if you're running a scale. So yeah, let's go Crabtana here then and get the Vengeance boost. Like I said, probably a little bit of a waste, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. And please don't be Boots. It isn't. And that is way overkill, but we got the knockout. And that is the game. Yeah, really glad they didn't bring the Maraith. And honestly, a little bit lucky as well that they didn't have the Halvantic, which could have also prevented us, or like at least made a second guess if we wanted to go for Rogue Assault, since that also resists it. But does that really want to switch in on a potential Wave Wrecker? Definitely not.